Welcome to the September's horoscope. The lunar eclipse is happening right now outside my window, but I'm doing this video for you because I really want to make my horoscope early. So thank you for all the support, and I've seen that many of my predictions for August is like happening right now, and I hope that we will all do safe. This is always my biggest wish for all my clients and all my audience. So being safe and stay healthy is most important thing. Overall, September will be a much nicer, much more gentle month when compared with the other crazy 5 months in the second half of the year. So before 2026, I made a video talking about all the energy in 2026. I said 2026 is the toughest of these years. It's tougher than 2027. It's tougher than 2025. It's tougher than 2024, particularly the second half of the year. We have the Mars Uranus conjunction in July, and also a lot of like the Jupiter Pluto opposition in July, and then in August, the two crazy eclipses is happening right now. We see something. October, November, the nasty transit of Venus retrograde with Mars South Node Jupiter conjunction. This is not that good. And December is like preparation for the real peak intensity of all these series of events in February 2027. So all the rest of the 5 months is crazy. But like for September, it's smooth. So I think it will be a very good month for you to take some nap, to do some recreation, to really relax yourself after all these crazy times. So just take some time. I've been not really sleeping well in the past months because it's I'm suffering from insomnia myself. I'm also strongly affected by this eclipse. I mean, in the degrees. So I really feel this energy. But in September, we'll feel some relaxation. We'll feel some relax in our stress, relief of our stress. So this is a good thing. So let's talk about the September. And as usual, please prepare your natal charts because I think it will be better. And I will walk you through some of the individual stuff because I think I always incorporate this. This is aberration form of my private readings because one important part of my private client chart reading definitely involves the transit. But when I talk about all these in my videos, I will talk about the transits. But definitely for the private client chart reading, I will do more stuff because it's never enough. It's a baby astrologer or a lazy astrologer to just look at the transits when doing predictive. So there will be more things, definitely more details. So you can contact me if you want to do a consultation with me via email for now. And I will talk about the three key themes of this September, and I will walk you through the rest of the other aspects that is going to be within this month. So the three themes definitely in September. The first is a continuation of Mars Saturn square, which we have been seeing now. And also the second is definitely the first Uranus retrograde entirely in Gemini. And the third is the Venus entering Scorpio, the peak intensity of its retrograde very soon, starting on October the 3rd. So we'll talk about this. So let's talk about the first part, the Mars Saturn square, which we have been seeing, it's carries through from August because Mars has been in sign-based square with Saturn after August 11th. And it's peaking around September 1st. I put it here. So for the higher level, for the broader, the society level, Mars Saturn structure is definitely even for individual level because I practice classic astrology. Many times my clients and audience ask me what you do, like Astrodiva, do you do classic astrology or modern astrology? So I do classic astrology more. But when I say I will use a tone more towards modern astrology because sometimes classic astrology is very destined, from I see some structure. So it's a very extreme example. So one of my clients, I saw that her mom, one of her her parent will be leaving her life in next 1 year. It's very, very obvious. But I try to frame it in a better way. I say beware of the family issues. And after 1 year, she says what you say is right. She said, I didn't fully understand you when you talk about this, but now I found that I totally understand because you need to make the things a little bit more lenient. That is also when I do the astrology videos. I want it to be more lenient. It will be much better. Okay, so let's back to this Mars Saturn, which is definitely the most malefic aspect, and particularly Mars, Saturn are in debilitated signs here, makes this energy a little bit weaker. So from the global level, the first thing you're going to see is we have the Mars, Saturn, Mercury triple conjunction second half of April. So all the events happen then will be also happening now, but in a more problematic ways or new challenges seen because this is a first quarter square. So we will definitely see some tension. The first thing, the Iran war, like at that time, we'll see something here. And I remember in April, there's some issues with oil crisis and also with submarine, with a trade issue, trade, not trade, like the trade, the ships, the ocean stuff. We will see all these things in Middle East again during this like next 1 week period. Definitely 100%. Another P or like some problems, some new challenges, and then we're going to solve that definitely. And the second thing is the hantavirus. We like discovered that or like we had some cases around April, and now we will also see some like issues. I don't think there's a breakout, but we'll see some either some progress or like some new evidence or like some cases about how like we should solve this potential struggles. But definitely there will be some hantavirus information coming out around September the 1st. This will be very obvious. The third, Mars and Saturn is also like damage to the real estate because Saturn, sorry, like Mars is in Cancer like house, family. So all these natural disasters definitely we have to be seeing like the floods everywhere because this Mars Saturn square is Mars is deposited by the moon. So moon is now undergoing the lunar eclipse, which is happening outside my room. It's like 9 p.m. The moon is already I see like it's already not that like circle. So yes, but let's continue. So Mars Saturn square, some like conflicts definitely, and also some home damage as I just mentioned. And sometimes cancer is like related with disease. So as I mentioned, all these disease virus that we'll also see that. And also when Mars forms square with Saturn, all of different like dilemmas will happen. But mostly like this time, Mars in Cancer more towards home, towards property, and also the scenes have been repeating in April. These Middle East conflicts have we see some here. Okay, so let's resume. So this is the first one, and we have already seen the events in August and will continue early September. For the individual level, it's more like a week period. Like I don't feel the strength, I feel impotent. There's a lot of like clients complaining about this right now. So every time I do the reading for my clients, I just feel so coincident. Like my prediction was right because every week I concluded the pattern of client struggles is different. For this week, most of them are split into two parts. The first is eclipse Uranus, all of these surprising news. And the other half, like I'm going to speak with her in 1 hour, she was struggling with like the current dilemma in her studying, in her like studies, in her major. So which is definitely not that easy. It's like Mars, Saturn. She had cardinal places 13 degrees. So for individuals, this is like a very huge trigger point of the Saturn retrograde. Look at your natal chart if you have inner placements. Sun, Moon, Rising, Heaven, Mercury, Venus, Mars between 12 to 15 degrees of Saturn, Libra, Aries, Cancer. You're definitely Capricorn. Sorry, like Libra, Aries, Capricorn, Cancer. You're definitely affected by this. Feeling some bottleneck, impotence, less motivated, or even some worst case scenario, burnout. I don't want to do it. Avoidant issues. These will all be repetitive or like recurring right now. Particularly if you have some Mars Saturn hard aspects in your natal chart, this will be a recurrence transit for you. So for since early this year, I've been using some recurrence transit. I find it so useful, the Saturn Neptune, because all of my clients are undergoing some Saturn Neptune crisis that was like crazy. And also Mars Saturn square for individuals, just like the problems, particularly in debilitated, feel weak. I don't know how. It's not like I don't know how to solve or I don't have the ability. It's more like um, I'm not willing to solve the issue. Okay, I think there's a scar in my like mouth something. I will fix it later. Okay, so the Mars Saturn stuff, and also I want to highlight two countries because Mars Saturn is definitely affecting United States and China. For United States, this Mars, like a lot of people saying the eclipse is a real cause, like the Pisces eclipse. It's not that one. It's a um like the Mars Saturn structure because if I remember correctly, United States has Sun in Cancer 13 degrees, Saturn in Libra 14 degrees, and Mars is now at like um Cancer, like 13 degrees Saturn, like opposite Saturn. So the Mars Saturn is triggering the Sun Saturn square in United States natal chart. So these conflicts we have been seeing in July and August in the United States are directly related with this stuff. So I think for United States, scenes will be a little bit like calmer after this, like after the beginning of September. It will be like calmer for a while. It doesn't mean that all things disappear or something like that. But after early September, the energy will be better. So the real triggering point for the United States, I think, will be afterwards the Virgo eclipse and the Mars retrograde, like November, December afterwards. Venus retrograde is more towards like the individual level and also the celebrity level. We'll talk about that later. Okay, for China, this one is like opposing like the China's many inner placements in eighth house. So definitely some structuring or some tension issues in China's economy in the next like 1 and 2 weeks. And yes, because of Saturn and Mars is like opposing all these planets. For the global level, I think the Jupiter Saturn is bringing something good, but for the China's economy, I think it's not like making economy bad, but like the Saturn's, it's more like restructuring. You need to solve some inherited issues in the China's economy structure, Saturn. We need to find a solution. And all these will be done. The process will finish after March and April in 2027. I've put so much effort in first structure. Okay, I will stop a little bit. The second one I want to say is definitely the Uranus retrograde. It will be on the September 10th. So for this Uranus retrograde, it will be entirely in Gemini and like last year it will be is like back to Taurus. This one will not be. So it will affect people with personal planets in 0 to 7 degrees of mutable signs, Gemini, Pisces, um Sagittarius and Virgo in the next 6 months, and particularly this will be coincidence with the Mars retrograde in early degrees in Virgo in next February. So like it will be a doubling effect at that time. So just be aware of this definitely. The Mars square is definitely not that easy for like the Mars Uranus. And now we are going to see some volatility. And when a planet goes retrograde, it's a time that it speaks the most. So like let me go back to the exact time. So the moon is directly squaring with Uranus around September the 9th, late hours, like around 10 p.m. or like 12 p.m. like central time or like Eastern time, like just like around September 10th midnight. So I think there will be some volatility and definitely because the moon is triggering this Uranus that is going to retrograde in a few hours. So definitely this moon Uranus square will bring some volatility in some moods and also Gemini and Virgo are all Mercury related signs. So around this, we will see some disruptions, changes in traffic or like transportation glitches, technology, sudden issues on that time, like around that time, like September 10th, midnight. And also for this, it will also be some mood changes for some other people. But like for many of you, I know you're in the United States and you're in Europe, you're like sleeping around that time. I think it will be like 5 a.m. for Europe is like 11, 12 midnight for United States. So I think like just like take a good nap. Or maybe you just have like some weird dreams. And also for this Uranus in Gemini, the retrograde will like re-trigger the bubble basket we see in August. So we can now see some progress of some technology being put forward, some progress being made. And also Uranus in Gemini, now we will see some changes like in all these transportation, education, technology coming out of place in the next several months. My prediction is that there will not be a major war now. A lot of people say there will be a major war, World War III. I don't think so. Because some people say that every time Uranus enters Gemini, there's a major war in America. I researched that it's true. But like things are different. For like, for instance, one of the last time the United States entered into war is like the Uranus squaring with Saturn, very like tough aspect, and then like return to the NATO Uranus position. And this time we don't have that. So by like so far for now, I think it is like some smaller conflicts still being there, and it's not like a major war happening. I don't think so. So Moon square with Uranus, definitely this is a little bit volatile at that moment. Okay, next one I'm going to talk about is Venus retrograde. I think this is what you like to hear. Reconnections, dramatic events. So this afternoon, I did a research into what Venus retrograde in Scorpio 8 years ago was happening. So definitely every 8 years, there's a major like the middle term election because I heard from my American friends. Yes, because I'm not political, they know about them. So I will not touch this in my video, but I will talk about the celebrity stuff. So like 8 years ago, there's a huge earthquake in the entertainment industry in China. And let me just give you some hints, like the one Chinese very famous celebrity called Li Zhao got married, and all the server of like the microblog, which is a version of Twitter in China, like the server went down. So I know like many of my clients are not from China. So Li Zhao is you can think of her as one of the like the most famous actresses in your own region or in the world. Like it's in China, like the compare status. Like she's very, very famous and she has a huge like fan base, you know. Yes, and she acts a lot. And also and also three other actresses of her same around her same age and with the same huge popularity get married at that time. There was also like a very famous like Chinese actress called Bing Bing Fan. Like her issues with some like finance stuff was like out made public at that time also. And also I remember there was a like dramatic breakup at that time. So very huge like earthquakes in entertainment industry, definitely October. And we were going to already see some seed planting or some cliffhanger in Venus shadow period in September. So this is not coincidence. I just like research all the huge incidences of these like entertainment events, like these celebrity events. Venus retrograde is always like the 8 years like the Venus retrograde 8 years ago is definitely the peak months compared with all the rest of the 11 months in the 2018 and even compare with the other 36 months 1 year after and 1 year before. So definitely in September and October, we'll see a lot of dramatic, particularly Venus in Scorpio, breakups, obsession, manipulation, secrets, a lot of them coming out in entertainment industry. And also because we have Venus in Libra at the same time, so we see some balance, definitely some engagement and marriage, huge dramatic events. We will see them particularly in the middle of October. I predict it now. Yes, in the middle of October, because this is when the Venus forms T square with Mars and Pluto. Is the time when it gets viral. So for United States, also the same thing because I like divas. I remember in 2018, Taylor Swift first shared her political view, which like was a lot of people was talking about that, and also Ariana Grande broke with like her ex-husband, like Pete Davidson around that time. It's also 2018 October stuff. And also I see a lot of other like I don't recall fully, but there's definitely a lot of like huge dramatic events also in the other like the in the world like entertainment industry. So definitely a peak of all these dramas with celebrities, some obsession, some crazy things is going you're going to see that all of these are going to happening at that moment. So for the individual, and also there will be some finance shocks, particularly in October, Venus in debilitated sign, T square with Mars, Pluto, there will be like a very huge volatility in the middle of October. So if you're like a speculator, you can take advantage of that, definitely. And also Venus retrograde always relates with some female feminist like stuff. So maybe there will be some huge conflicts between the gender or like towards women's rights in the middle of October. Also because of, oh, I'm talking too much on like October. So female stuff and also some cosmetic beauty stuff, definitely. For individual level, the whole September, the greatest takeaway for the Venus shadow period is just to slow down when you make some decisions with relationship, with your finance, investment, doing some plastic surgery. It doesn't mean you cannot do it right now. It means that it may be revisited, reviewed later. So this is what we are going to see as this Venus retrograde. And particularly, a hint is that the October one is very insane. So if you want to know what you're going to encounter, just look at September 15th. It will be very similar with it will be an easier version of middle October. If it's fine or nothing happens, I think no, nothing to worry. And Venus in Scorpio retrograde is always like after September 10th, like the shadow period, not retrograde, the shadow period is always asking you to rethink about my obsessions or like my inner needs, my deep feelings, my real needs for the relationship, for intimacy, what I really want. Okay, so these are the three biggest things I've covered. And if you have any of your sun, moon, rising, have Mercury, Venus, Mars between 0 to 9 degrees of Scorpio, Taurus, Leo, and Aquarius, you're definitely facing this very dramatic or a little bit intense energy. You only like the dramas may also be around the people around you. You hear from your ex, your boyfriend reconnects with you, particularly the middle of October. A lot of boyfriends going to ex-boyfriends going to text you, or maybe you're the one that you are sending out the text, or you say, can you like can we back together? Yes, sometimes it may be my client. Many times it's my client. Yes. Okay, so now let's go back to all these like less important, but I also want to highlight in this horoscope. September is really much gentle than other months, so I don't have a lot to say for other, but we will talk now. So for 10 days, except the Mars Saturn, nothing too big. And then let's just jump directly to September the 10th. Except Uranus entering retrograde, Uranus entering retrograde, yep, and Venus like forming some very hard like not hard aspects. Venus entering Scorpio, Chiron opposition, maybe you're feeling wounded in relationship at that time, and also Venus opposing with Chiron is sometimes with like also in retrogrades like past like wounds in celebrity, past wounds in all these dramas are going to be reviewed at this time. It's like past issues, particularly like inner wounds will be reviewed, will be exposed at that time. Some toxic transformations for a lot of like personal relationship, or like you may be like just thinking of some past ones, past issues at that time, like for individuals. And then Mercury enters Libra. Mercury is now deposited by Venus in Scorpio. Venus in Scorpio deposited by Mars in Cancer. Cancer like ruled by Moon. Moon back to Mercury. So it's like loop. But like Mercury in Libra, more fair communications, more balanced communications. Definitely not a very good spot as Mercury in Virgo. Lose its dignity, but it's still not bad. It's more like just balancing, doing some negotiations. This is good. And yes, I just find it. This is new moon. So we see that this is clearly a Virgo new moon. And the Virgo new moon is deposited by Mercury, just changing sign. Like, yes, just changing sign into Libra. So this like Virgo new moon, there's not a lot of stuff. It's just the one out of the eclipse season. So it's much calmer. And I have two things only to say for this new moon. The first is the sextile with Mars. So it can help relieve some loss to the home or like the real estate issues we have seen end of the August and early September. Maybe we'll see some governments providing some subsidies, some insurance programs helping these people out, nurturing, like with Mars. It's a sextile, so it's not large. It's just like some saving effort. It's like some effort to help this energy a little bit out. And also you will feel like Moon sextile with Mars, and particularly Mars received by Moon, you will be more motivated, particularly when compared with earlier this month. And the other thing is like new moon, a new cycle. And this one is very important because the Virgo eclipse on February 2027. That one is really tough and the ending part of Virgo. So it's like the final beginning chapter of Virgo, what you want to do, and in the next 6 months, what you want to achieve. And also back to the Mars in Cancer. What emotional needs are you going to use, or what emotional like struggles do you want to combat? How are you going to make all these things smooth? And despite others feeling like crazy in February 2027, what you want to receive then. So it's like your question, and you should ask yourself, and you should plumb some cycle. Okay, nothing really big scene, but like Mercury opposition with Neptune around 13, 2012. There's also like some past like secrets by others or like past misunderstanding being exposed. Okay, it's not that like really big, but like sometimes also miscommunication, Mercury opposition with Neptune around September 12th. You find some people's lies because Neptune is in retrograde, some past lies. Now you know come beyond the surface. Okay. Next one, because my battery is low, I didn't charge. I want to finish it. Then is like the September 15th. I've covered a lot like in the Venus shadow section just now. So I want to touch it, but not that much. So for the September 15th Venus square with Pluto, we don't have Mars here. It's in shadow period, so it's like the cliffhanger for the very toxic Venus T square in October middle between like around October the 10th and 20th is like a cliffhanger. So if you want to know if you have your reconnections back, you can watch at this time. Or maybe you may find that your ex is already having some like stalks or having some like indirect communication, anything like that around this time. Or you're feeling a bit obsessed. It's like the very important preparation moment for the Venus retrograde. Venus, Pluto, and definitely we will see some celebrity like huge dramas at this time. Yes, or maybe the October drama we are seeing then is from the drama now. And Venus in Pluto also some transformation in feminine rights, some laws. And Venus in Scorpio some dark matters, particularly towards women, towards female, when now we will be seeing. And also Venus in Scorpio sometimes like some, yes, as mentioned, some huge obsession issues in celebrities' marriage. Okay, so personally, and for finance, I don't think this day will be a good day for like investment or making some purchases. I will not be surprised if I see some market like huge volatility here, even though it will not be that pronounced as October. And then Mercury opposition with Saturn at the same time, just like some you are less willing to talk, or like Mercury in Libra is more like you feel that talking is not feeling that good, or maybe Mercury opposition with like Saturn, you feel it like much more tiring to finish the original studying work, original communication work, or maybe you feel that this communication is not fair. So we will see some like larger levels, some contract issues, like negotiations between countries that is not good. That's definitely not unfair. Or maybe there's some issues coming out of from the past unfair contracts being made. Okay. And then Mercury sextile with Jupiter, I want to highlight that much. And finally, I want to talk about the Mars in Leo and the final, like the full moon in September. And then we are done. Yes, really not so many major themes. So September is like very like smooth when compared with other months, definitely. And then let's take a look at this one, at this, um, let me see, at this full moon. So this is Aries full moon. Oh, it's like already passed a little bit. Let me make it more precise. I think it's 11:40 a.m. my local time. 11. This one is more important. I think it's of equal importance with the Virgo new moon earlier this month, but much less important than the eclipse we have just encountered. So the first thing I want to highlight is that this new moon, full moon, is directly, you see, directly conjunction with Neptune in retrograde. And so some themes that is like within the fog, like in April, I use a word like there's like the fog in actions there, and now it's coming into surface, particularly from the global level. The fogs of war in April now is going to come beyond the surface at the time, because it's like full moon is going to making all things out. You will see things clearly. For individual levels, I know Neptune has been making a lot of you feeling blurred minds or rose-colored glass in this year, and now it's like helping you know something more clearly, see something more clearly, realize something, a realized moment. Oh, it's that way. It's more like this. And also, if you have worked hard from the Aries new moon in April, like late April, see some results now. And particularly, I say like less confusion, more realistic, know what is really happening, know what your really needs are. The other highlight of this full moon is deposited by Mars. Mars is in its last degree. This is important in astrology. It's going to change a sign, so there will definitely be some urgency to act. So even though Mars is in Cancer, like some people may feel, okay, emotionally, oh wow, I definitely need to act. I definitely need to do something. It's more like this. Mars deposit this new moon, full moon. So definitely some actions, and we will see some actions in like in some between the countries, even though like it's in Cancer, maybe like just like emotional like things. Oh, I say something. Well, it's more like, sorry, not like say something, just like you feel the intense energy, but it's not like huge conflicts like directly fighting with each other. It's not like that. And also some wars, some conflicts like in April, we can now see something clearly. Okay, it's a real thing. Oh, the trade, the oil prices, we see the real like inner cause, or like the real inside of this stuff. And Mars is changing sign on the next day. And one thing I want to highlight for now is Mars in Leo, because this time we will have retrograde in Leo. So it will not start the shadow period until November. But already we can like feel a little bit of this energy because Mars is slowing down and it's like, oh, I don't want to move one more day. It's like Mars is going to have the sign-based conjunction with Jupiter and South Node. So like a lot of people will be like maybe after September 27th motivated again. I want to act straightforward. But Mars in Leo, my biggest advice is that control your temper, control a little bit, slow down a little bit. And definitely Mars in Leo, Venus retrograde preparation, October the 15th, October the 10th, and October the 20th, like the two T-square triggering point, the dramatic issues. Mars in Leo, always like a lot of conflicts in celebrity, in entertainment, in kids issue, particularly the entertainment. So a lot of dramas are here. And Mars conjunction with Jupiter, like some victories, but it's with South Node. So it's more like gaining some victories, but it's at all costs. We would see some people saying that they are winning something from the broader level, from the political level, but it's actually not that way. And yes, so like a huge vibe changing actions, more outward, more straightforward, but at the same time, definitely more conflicts because Mars is going to begin a sign-based opposition with Pluto after September 27th, a direct opposition. A lot of like, I will not be surprised if we see like a lot of like conflicts the first several days of October. The Mars opposition with like Pluto. I think it will be peaking around October the 3rd. A lot of like conflicts October the 3rd, like between celebrities, between parties, like because it's Pluto, and also between celebrities. We'll see that. And also political parties for sure. Huge conflicts. And Mercury in Scorpio at the very end of the month. Yes, Mercury also soon enters shadow period. So Mars slowing down, Mercury slowing down, Venus slowing down. This month, everything slows down. Slow down, take a nap, prepare for the real fights in October. We'll all do fine. Subscribe to my channel. This is our biggest support. And I hope that I will see you very soon. So if you like my channel, if you like my interpretation, you can also sign up a consultation with me via email. So see you soon. Bye.